For one final time in the NFL regular season, we welcome you to Special Edition. It's the Cowboys wrap up their 2024 campaign and try and start the 25 calendar year on a high note. Happy New Year, everyone. Alongside Isaiah Stanback, Barry Church, and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Yeomans. Gentlemen, the Cowboys fall in Week 17, 41-7. It was not a pretty outing for the Cowboys in Philadelphia, but a chance to end on a high note. Barry, I'll start with you. Did that game change your mind on anything looking forward with this Cowboys team?
No, it didn't change my mind on the players, the team, or the coaching staff going out there. I mean, this team's been through a lot of ups and downs, and I believe Mike McCarthy has done an amazing job, getting the most out of each and every one of his players out there. Not only that, but leading this locker room out there and making sure those guys fight each and every game. So to me, it did not change my mind at all, even though they got beat the way they did against a superior Philadelphia team. I'm still rooting for Mike McCarthy and his team going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't believe that it changed anything. I think that you have a pretty good understanding as to who this team is under Mike McCarthy's leadership. I think that the Tampa Bay game is really your last go in regards to understanding who that was and what your team is. The Philadelphia game was a letdown, obviously, but you're unmanned, you're unmatched. Those guys are just a much stronger unit, and I think emotionally, your team is probably much done.
It didn't change anything. I thought the season would kind of end like this. I knew it was going to be hard, and then when the injuries hit, it just really hurt the team morale and everything. But these guys fought through it. We got a new defensive coordinator. They fought through that. So I feel pretty good about this team because we got some depth now. And the decision the Cowboys are going to have to come up with is who they're going to pay to make sure this thing go forward the right way.
That's the thing, is you've got to find some more evaluation, some more depth, more high-end talent, whatever it ends up being. But a lot of that can't happen until the offseason. The Cowboys did make a roster move early in the week, right at the end of the 2024 calendar year. They released Ezekiel Elliott. Barry, I know you were a teammate with Zeke for a little bit, and he meant a lot to this organization. Second stint with the Cowboys, of course. What are your thoughts as the second one comes to an end?
Well, I think it was a slightly disappointing, as far as how the season went out there. I thought Zeke coming in here, it was a good story, and I thought he'd be a little bit more productive when you talk about short yardage goal line situations, but it just didn't come to that fruition. So to me, those guys mutually parting ways. I think it works best for the Dallas Cowboys and Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe he'll be able to jump on a playoff team and go get a ring to end his career. But to me, I think him coming back, the decision, it was a great idea, but it just didn't work out the way that a lot of people thought it would.
Yeah, sometimes things are better left on paper than they are in reality. I'm glad that he was able to leave here healthy. I hope that he's able to retain a ring, but I think his time in the league is probably coming to an end, and I think he knows that as well.
Zeke, you've been great for this organization, man. Hats off to you. Good luck.
That's the thing, is there's a lot of love still left for Ezekiel Elliott and this organization. Second time coming back, it shows how much he did mean to this Cowboys team and how much the Cowboys meant to him. Now, the Cowboys do have a decision to make at the quarterback spot. Nothing to play for from a playoff standpoint going up against Washington this week. Will we finally see Trey Lance, Nate Newton, this week, or is it going to be Cooper Rush as a starter?
I still want Cooper Rush. I want to see what these young wide receivers are going to do. I don't know Trey Lance. I know what I've seen in training camp and all of the preseason. It wasn't nice, so I'm going to turn you over to Isaiah. He got a better understanding than this guy.
I believe that you know what you have in Cooper Rush. I truly believe that Trey Lance has a higher ceiling. Now, whether or not he reaches that ceiling or not, that depends on whoever the coaching staff is that's going to be a part of his development, whether that's here or somewhere else. But I don't think that it's advantageous for the Cowboys right now to play him in this game. All you would do is drive the price up. You know his value. Nobody else in the league does.
Look, I'd like to see Trey Lance out there. I'd like to see him. I mean, you traded a fourth-round pick, and right now you traded a fourth-round pick for a practice squad player. So, to me, go out there and see what he has. You know what you got in Cooper Rush. You know what he brings to the table as one of the league's best backup quarterbacks. Just see what you got in Trey Lance. It's worth it. One game.
Why not? Why not? That's my whole thing with Trey Lance. Give him an opportunity, and we'll see what happens moving forward. Plenty more to come here on Special Edition. Later in the show, Isaiah Stanback will head to the film room. We'll break down what has made this run game successful on the back half of the 2024 schedule. But coming up next, if he is available, what type of impact will Jaden Daniels play in the Washington Commanders offense this week against the Cowboys?
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. And by AT&T. official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
Anytime you put the helmet on, your cleats and everything on, you want to put it, your best foot forward, and that's just getting momentum for next year, and understanding that you competed as hard as you could, and you got a good lasting impression for that last season. Last game of the season. So, just putting your best foot forward and making sure that you got a good start to the year.
Jordan Lewis knows that it's still about the details even entering the final week of the regular season. Welcome back to Special Edition. Of course, Washington, a team that the Cowboys took down just a couple weeks prior in a wild finish in Washington at Northwest Stadium. It's a different feeling this time around. Nate Newton, though, Jaden Daniels is still a huge weapon. How do the Cowboys contain him this week?
You just got whether it's a pass or whether it's a run situation, you gotta be level on your offensive line. You got to be like an umbrella and push forward. You can't have no leaks in that line, none whatsoever. Whether it's a pass or whether it's a run, this dude is a do-all quarterback. He's the leading rusher, broke a record, rushing yards. He can throw the rock. He's accurate. This guy is ahead of his time.
He checks all the boxes. You just want to go out there and try to complicate things for him. I think, coming off the heels of Coach Mike Zimmer's press conference, it sounds like he may or may not be trying to decide on his future. And if this is his last game in his head, then I think you see him empty out the bag and make things very difficult for Jaden Daniels.
Also, not to mention, this is all predicated on whether or not he will play this week. They have Marcus Mariota as the backup. He could possibly see some playing time as well. All of this is still predicated on who's available for Washington going in, but we're going to play like it is going to be the top guys available. Barry, Terry McLaurin, still scary Terry. What does he bring to the table on offense?
Oh, man, this guy's a home run threat. We saw it last time they went. There was 14 seconds left, and he was able to take it 85 yards. This guy is a stud number one wide receiver out there. We all know what he brings to the table, but I love their slew of weapons that they have. Zacchaeus out of the slot has been playing great these past couple weeks, and you cannot sleep on Zach Ertz. This guy, he's getting up there in age, but he's still producing at a high level for a tight end, especially when you get to the red zone. So you got to understand where all these guys are when you're going against the Washington Commanders.
And they've gotten better and better as the year has gone on, with a rookie quarterback at that sense as well. So keep an eye on those guys. Same thing for the defense. Dan Quinn's defense playing at a high level. Nate, when it comes to these guys up front, what makes them successful?
Just the mismatches. He's always looking for a mismatch, and when he finds, he's explosive. And Dante Fowler, who we let go, has 10.5 sacks, and Isaiah can speak on that.
Yeah, these guys are nasty. They have the Bama boys in the interior. They got Allen in pain. Both of those guys are back now. You have somebody named by the name of Darrell Armstrong. You guys heard of him before? Yeah. And then Dante Fowler, as Nate just mentioned, Dante Fowler Jr., as productive as he was with Dallas, he had 10 sacks in 2 years. He has 10.5 sacks in his 10th year with the Washington Commanders. You better find out where he's at.
Ooh, and they continue to go after the quarterback, too. Even if a couple of those guys are available, it's going to be interesting for whoever's playing behind center for the Cowboys. When we come back on Special Edition, it's time to catch up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones. We go one-on-one with the Cowboys front office next.
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
Welcome back into Special Edition. The Cowboys enter the final week of the regular season with plenty of question marks still needed to be answered. One of those is about Trey Lance, the backup quarterback who the Cowboys traded a fourth-round pick for last preseason, has still yet to see major action in the regular season. Of course, he had all 3 games in the preseason, but our very own Nick Eatman sat down with Stephen Jones and asked him the question, will we see Trey Lance in the final game?
Yes, I think we're going to see more of him and could see quite a bit of him. So, he's obviously worked his tail off. Cooper's done a great job with this team. But at the same time, we might want to take a good, long, hard look at Trey this weekend. And obviously, we've stressed it, from the moment that we got a little bit behind in the playoff race that we want to win football games. And certainly we want to win the Washington game. We've had a a tough road to hoe here at home this year, and love to give our our loyal fans a good win against the Commanders.
And one more here. I know that free agency will happen at the end of the year. But you have a lot of free agents here. One of them, Jordan Lewis, and just the way that he's kind of fought through things. Everyone's always told him he's too short, too little to play. He's played 8 or 9 years now, and just the way he kind of battles, it seems like he's a guy that's really been somebody that you always look at and say, that's the way we want our guys to play.
Well, that's a Dallas Cowboy football player in our mind, and he's not the longest, he's not the fastest, but he's right at the top in terms of being the most competitive, uber competitor on this football team. And you're right. I mean, that's the type of guys we want to draft that go out and compete week in and week out. I know he helped set the tone with Coach McCarthy and Coach Zimmer in terms of the way we've played down the stretch and remained very competitive and winning football games when a lot of teams lose their edge and go the other way. So hats off to Jordan. He's not only a leader on the field, a leader off the field. He represents, as you said, what we want when we're drafting a Dallas Cowboy. We want to think of Jordan Lewis. You know, the best way to wrap up the season is go get a win against Washington. And certainly they're now locked in a playoff berth, and it'd be great to finish up with the home crowd here and get a big win and look to our future after hopefully getting after the Commanders.
You can catch the entire interview with Nick Eatman and Stephen Jones on DallasCowboys.com and the Cowboys Now app. Now, we've got more to come here on Special Edition. When we come back, Isaiah Stanback goes to the film room. We break down what has made Rico Dowdle a 1,000-yard rusher this season and how is the run game taking steps in the right direction.
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
Welcome back into Special Edition alongside Isaiah Stanback. I'm Kyle Yeomans. Isaiah, the Cowboys have been much better at running the football as the season has gone on. Give credit to Rico Dowdle, but there's also credit to go around on the offensive side of the ball. What's worked in the right favor for the Cowboys' run game and how they've started utilizing the ground game yet again?
Well, you know, they had a little bit of a Cupid shuffle up front with the offensive line, but since then they've seemingly found their way, right? These guys are doing a great job of being not only just a unit, but taking care of each individual assignment. And we can start this thing off right here in the film. These guys are just blocking well, okay? So on this particular play, the man of the hour is going to be right here, Brevin Spanford. They're running what they call a counter. Okay, what is a counter? Well, the running back's going to come this way, and then he's going to go back that way, okay? And in order to do that, the man that has to get his block is Brevin Spanford. If he does not hook this guy and he allows for this defensive end to get outside of him, the play is done. Game over. So while everybody has to do their job, his job is the most important. But he's going to come here and seal. Terrence Steele also has to get up here and seal. Now, Cooper Beebe is going to come up around, all right, and work his way up, boom, and get up here. Not Cooper Beebe, but Bass.
Tyler Bass.
Bass, all right. And now on the outside, Hunter Lipke's going to work his way up and try to kick out. Now here, we have to get up, seal that, and then work up, seal that side. He has to get a reach block here, Tyler Smith, that is. All right, Chuma Edoga's going to try to work up to the next level, and then we're off and running. All right, so now that you guys know what to look for, let's see it play out. Boom, we talked about it right off the back, right? Who has to get their block? Brevin Spanford, right here at the tight end position on the right side of your screen. As he does that, bow, he gets that hook, perfect. Okay, once he seals that, all right, we talk about Terrence Steele trying to seal that. He does a relatively good job. Tyler Smith sealing his guy. Now Hoffman's able to do what? Work up to the next level. We always talk about lineman getting to the second level and does his job. Now you guys see that this linebacker's doing what? This linebacker's tracking, okay? He sees the running back going ahead and working his way up. Rico's trying to get outside. While that man is tracking, what he doesn't see is the man in the mirror. All right, TJ Bass coming up, and he's going to get that nice seal block right there. Let's see it play out. Boom. All right, TJ Bass gets his block. So now we have the hook at the line of scrimmage. We have TJ Bass getting up. We got Hoffman working up to the next level. We have the kick out block by Hunter Lipke. And now the man, Rico Dowdle, can do what he does, and that is salsa all the way. down the field for a big splash play. That's exactly what you're looking for out of the offensive line, working as a cohesive unit, but also taking care of their individual assignments.
I love seeing that from guys like TJ Bass. You saw it from Brock Hoffman there as well. Two guys that were filling in for guys that initially started the year, Cooper Beebe and Zach Martin. They weren't available during that Bengals game. You had some guys available, including Beebe at center against Philadelphia. But not only is it the offensive line blocking up front, how is Rico Dowdle taking steps forward?
Rico, the word of the day is patience, okay? Rico Dowdle's doing a great job of being patient.
It's a good thing to exercise in the new year.
Listen,
it's 2025.
He started early, okay? But Rico's being patient as a running back, and you have to do that because sometimes the blocking scheme doesn't go as you draw it up on paper. So you have to allow things to develop, and you have to set up your guys for success. So let's take a peek at it right now, okay? So we talk about running counters, okay? And here's another one where these guys are going to run a counter, okay? Rico Dowdle's going to come this way, and then he's coming back around this way. Now, who has to have the blocks, okay? We got to be able to kick out. We have to be able to get our guy right here. We have to be able to reach our guy, trying to create a little hole here, okay? Is it going to happen? Not necessarily the way that you draw it up. Cooper Beebe gets beat right here, okay? Right at the point. He's trying to block a large human being by the name of Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis, you see his eyes right now are tracking Rico Dowdle. What he wants to do is throw Cooper Beebe and then come backside. That's exactly what he's able to do. Tyler Smith does a good job. We get a good job by Guyton. Now, as that happens, look at the plant in the backfield, okay? Brock Hoffman gets beat as well. His man is getting vertical, getting across the line of scrimmage. So when you're getting the ball, you would like to be able to just run right here. But that's not happening on this particular play. Put your foot in the ground, make the first guy miss in the backfield. But now when you come here, who's waiting on you? Big Jordan Davis is waiting on you. Now, how can I make this play right? Cooper Beebe missed his block, but I can put my foot in the ground once again and get my leverage so that I can now go ski-skirt, get back this way. I can allow Cooper Beebe to get back on his block. I also allow Terrence Steele to get on his guy. And now that crease that we're looking for, I can hit that crease. Ooh, and I can't go past this. The receivers, a lot of times, we forget about the receivers in the running game and how important they are. They allow for the splash plays. We got Ryan Flournoy doing a good job of getting his guy right here, but while he's blocking his guy, he's also looking at the safety because he knows that this play can't be a big play unless he gets his guy right there. He allows for Rico Dowdle to get the big play because he takes care of two defensive players on that play. Not only are guys taking care of their assignments, but Rico's allowing guys to be right by making them right when things kind of fall apart.
Love to see that from a rookie wide receiver. It doesn't have a ton of playing time this year. He's able to block not one, but two guys, including Reed Blankenship, whose sole job on that play is to scream downhill and make a hit on the running back. So a couple of ways that the running game has taken a step forward. Isaiah Stanback breaking it down. When we come back, keys to the game. How can Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys in 2024 season on a high note?
Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Cowboys scratch tickets from the Texas Lottery are here. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Special edition presented by AT&T was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
I wish that when I came in that I would have done everything the way I wanted it done and not kind of try to blend things. And so I think that was part of the struggles at the beginning. And what I'm most proud about is watching the guys, how they've improved. You know, you go out to practice and you see the coverage pieces being in the right place, playing the routes correctly, things like that. And you know, there's still a lot more we could have done better, but I think a lot of it was that. And so we had to work through a whole bunch of different scenarios to get to where I feel like I kind of, like I said, the vision that I had.
Heavy words from defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer as it could be his final game as a coach in the National Football League. Isaiah, keys to a successful Week 18 for the Cowboys.
Compete hard and walk away injury-free.
Yeah, to me, stay healthy and make sure you compete in all three phases.
Compete, and make sure the coach can check your box at the end of day.
That's a big one. You got to make sure continue to have a lasting impact. Nate, who gets the win this week?
I'm checking the box by 1, baby.
Cowboys by
Yeah,
1 again.
it's by
There you
1.
go. We're back next week. More special edition with Isaiah Berry. Nate, I'm Kyle Yeomans. We'll see you then.